you go. It's a funky Friday. That means she's the diva. He's the notorious R.O.B.
What?
And I am Brucifer. These are the stories that everyone's talking about. We call it the playlist.
Track 1.
Well, a little bit of a bummer here. It appears to be good news on the surface, but reality is it's not good enough. We're talking about the unemployment rate dropping today to 8.6%. 120,000 new jobs were added. You could stand around and jump up for joy and say that's a good thing, right? Still taking an average of 41 weeks for a person to find a job. That's the average length of time people are unemployed. The real unemployment rate went down to 15.6%, but one economist said the economy continues to plod along at an uninspiring pace.
Yeah, it is a little uninspiring when you still have 13 million people who are out of work right now. And yeah, hey, it's a little positive. Woohoo! It's 8.6%, but let's also keep in mind a lot of these are those seasonal temporary workers that are giving it a boost.
Good point.
And we know that we need to start spending money. If the economy is going to grow long term, Americans have to feel confident that spending money is a good thing. Right now, even though it's the holiday season, we're tired of being frugal. We're not spending enough as a country to create jobs for the long term.
Track 2.
My state's better than yours is. That's exactly what it sounded like on the floor of the Senate this week, guys, all right? We had our own fine Senator John McCain joking that Long Island was regrettably part of the United States. Okay, well, Chuck Schumer, New York, obviously took offense, and instead of confronting McCain about it, he took to Twitter.
Of course.
That's what you do.
Yes, exactly. Took to Twitter, and McCain, well, he half apologized, saying that, Schumer couldn't take a joke and hopes he finds a sense of humor. And, well, Schumer then went back to tweeting that if McCain wants to mock parts of America, he should start with Arizona.
I want to pass a law that bans politicians from using Twitter. That would solve this problem once and for all. Yes, and I stopped listening to politicians a long time ago.
Good for you.
Make fun of whatever state you want to. I'm not listening.
Can Arizona and Senator McCain and New York and Senator Schumer get together and agree on one thing?
What's that?
Regrettably, Arkansas is part of this country. Can we just make fun of Arkansas? What are they going to do about it? It's Arkansas. All right?
Track 3.
So after almost 9 years, guys, the war in Iraq just about over. See, the United States handed over control of Camp Victory, and Saddam's palace is over to Iraq. They said, yeah, we're out of here. Only about 500 troops remain in Baghdad, 12,000 in country, but they're all going to be headed out, Kuwait or back home, by the end of the month. So does that mean this war was a victory?
I don't know, because I still have no idea what the victory was defined at, but I am happy to see the close of this, and I will be even more happy when I see the close of hostilities and American occupation of Afghanistan. You
know what? I thought it was interesting, guys. They were talking about how many times now that Camp Victory had been bombed, so to speak, okay? And that information wasn't getting out to you and I because they didn't want insurgents to know that it hit gyms, that it hit the mess hall, that soldiers had died in this. But we're starting to hear some of those stories come out right now.
Track 4.
Well, they've been here for a while. I'm talking about illegal immigrants. There's a new study out that says 63% of all illegal immigrants in the United States today have been here for 10 years or more. 46% of them have minor children. And 35% of all legal immigrants, I believe that number of about 11 million, so you're talking about 4 million people, have been here for more than 15 years.
It's not shocking to me. It's not shocking to me at all. And I'm also wondering what happened, 15 years ago that so many people came over. We're seeing everything right now kind of slow down with the economy, but these numbers are going to go back up.
Yeah.
Well, it also goes to show you how difficult it is to remove these people if that's what you want to go. Yeah. I like these studies that show a lot of the things we think about illegal immigration aren't actually
not necessarily true. They didn't all just show up yesterday.
Again, It just comes back to dealing with it in a realistic fashion, and it doesn't seem like anybody, politicians especially, want to deal with this in a real way.
Track 5.
You guys remember how creepy it was when Jessica Simpson's dad was, talking about her tatas?
Weird.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Not as creepy, though, as Taylor Young's dad.
Okay, what's that?
She's a Michigan State University cheerleader, okay?
All right.
She fell off the top of a pyramid, took a little tumble, was unconscious on the floor for a while, and people didn't know if she was going to be okay. Obviously, you'd think it'd be a scary moment for Dad. He's sitting in the audience. Well, Dad actually posts on Facebook, "Glad to see your booty isn't getting big. No one likes a chick with a big butt."
Dad wrote that.
Love ya.
I like
She responds with, Come on, Dad.
Oh, I doubt it was at that tone.
Why didn't you just delete the post? Because that is just odd.
Isn't it, though?
Look, I know that every parent wants to embarrass their kid at some point, and there's a right way to do it, and this is just flat out bizarre.
Yeah, Dad's got some issues,
Yeah, I
doesn't
think
he?
so.
Yeah, I'm a little unconcerned, but I want to see her butt now and make my own decisions.
Track 6.
Man, how unpopular are atheists nowadays? So they did a study, as always people do these things,
what
and
they
they
do.
asked a bunch of people what they think of immoral people, who they are. Atheists ranked right next to rapists.
Rapists and atheists are at the bottom of the list.
I would also like to point out that 67% of those surveyed were quote-unquote Christians.
Yeah, I mean,
Self-identified Christians.
it was a
by the
real
way.
interesting study because it posed kind of this moral dilemma, and then who do you think how they would deal with it? And
Yeah.
people thought that if you didn't have a religious background, that you wouldn't deal with these moral situations well. And I would only turn around and say, "How's the church been dealing with some of its moral things?"
Touche.
Yeah. Ouch.
You know what? And what was also kind of shocking to me about this is one's illegal, one isn't.
There's
Okay,
that.
a rapist, that's horrific
That
crime.
is exactly.
An atheist, it's just a belief system.
Yeah.
And it's different than yours, or a lack of one. Yeah, exactly.
Which is fine, yeah. Well, that is the playlist. We do it at the bottom of every hour, 9:30, 10:30, and 11:30. We get you caught up on the stories that people are talking about. That is the playlist.